year. We are with hearing about David, and this is Chronicles 13 through 16. Okay, First Chronicles 13 through 16. And David consulted with the captain of thousands and hundreds and with every leader. And David said unto all the congregation of Israel, if it seem good unto you that it be of Jehovah your God, let us send abroad unto our brethren everywhere that are left in the land of Israel, and with them also the priests and the Levites which are in their cities and in their suburbs, that they may gather themselves unto us. And let us bring again the ark of God to us, for we inquire not at the days of Saul. Let us bring again the ark of our God to us, for inquired not at it in the days of Saul. Now, that was probably a mistake. That's a big time mistake, folks. So David gathered all Israel together from Shiort of Egypt, even to the enterings of Hemath, to bring the ark of God from Kiriath-jearim. And David went up to all Israel to Bela, that is, to Kiriath-jearim, and belonged to Judah, and to bring then up the ark of God, and dwelleth between the cherubims, and whose name is called on it. Whose name is called on it. And they carried the ark in a cart out of the house of Abinadab. And Uzzah and Noda drove the Uzzah, and Ahio drove the cart. And David and all Israel played before God with their might, and with the singing and the harps and the psalteries and the timbrels, and with the cymbals and the trumpets. And they came unto the threshing floor of Chidon, and Uzzah put forth his hand to hold the ark, for the oxen stumbled. And the anger of Jehovah was kindled against Uzzah, and he smote him because he put out his hand to the ark. And there he died before God. You got to listen to his instructions, folks. Got to listen to his instructions. And David was displeased because Jehovah had made a breach upon Uzzah, and therefore that place was called Perez Uzzah to this day. And David was afraid of God that day, and saying, how shall I bring the ark of God home to me? So David brought not the ark home to himself into the city of David, but carried aside into the house of Obed-Edom, and the Obed-Edom the Gittite. And the ark of God remained with the family of Obed-Edom in his house 3 months. And Jehovah blessed this house of Obed-Edom and all that they had. Now Hiram the king of Tyre had sent messengers to David in the timber of the cedars with the masons and the carpenters to build him a house. And David perceived that Jehovah had confirmed him king over Israel, and for his kingdom lifted up high because of his people of Israel. And David took more wives in Jerusalem, and David begat more sons and daughters. Now there are the names of his children, which he had in Jerusalem: Shemua and Shaboah and Ritham, Ithabar, Elisha and Ephlet, and Nalgaph and Regdam and Beplah and Jephthah and Elishma and Belida and Ephlat. And when the Philistines heard that David was anointed king over all Israel, the Philistines went up to seek David, and heard of it, and went out against them, And David heard of it and went out against them. And Philistines came and spread themselves in the valley of Rephaim. And David inquired of God, saying, shall I go up against the Philistines, and wilt thou deliver them into my hand? And Jehovah said, go up, and I will deliver thine hand. So they came up to Baal-perazim and smote them. And David said, thou hast broken in upon my enemies in thy hand like a breaking forth of waters. Therefore they called the name of the place Baal-perazim. And then they left their gods, and David gave a commandment where they were burned with fire. And David yet again spread themselves abroad in the valley. Therefore David inquired of God, and God said unto him, go not after them, but turn away from them, and come upon over the mulberry trees. And it shall be, when you shall hear the going in the tops of the mulberry trees, that thou shalt go out from the battle. And God is gone from before thee to smite the host of the Philistines. And David therefore did as God commanded him. And they smote the host of the Philistines from Gibeon even to Gezer. And the fame of David went out into all the lands, into the Jehovah, and brought fear upon all thy nations. And David made him houses in the city of David, and prepared a place for the ark, and they pitched for a tent. And David said, now none ought to carry the ark of God but the Levites. He wised up. And hath Jehovah chosen to carry the ark of God and to minister unto him forever. And David gathered all Israel together to Jerusalem to bring the ark of Jehovah to his place, which he had prepared for it. And David assembled the children of Aaron and the Levites, and the son of Korath, Uriel, chief, and the brethren into the 120. And he assembled the sons of Korath, Uriel, the chief, and his brethren, 120. And the sons of Merari, Azai, the chief, and his brethren, 220. The sons of Gershom, Joel, the chief, and the brethren, and 130. And the sons of Eliphaz, Shema, the chief, and his brethren, 200. And the sons of Hebron, Eli, the chief, and his brethren, 80. And the sons of Uzziel, Aminadab, the chief, and his brethren, 112. And David called for Zadok, and Abiathar, the priests, and for the Levites, and Uriel, and Isaiah, and Joel, and Shah, and Elal, and Aminadab, and said unto them, Ye are the chief of the fathers of the Levites. Sanctify yourselves, both ye and your brethren, that ye may bring up the ark of Jehovah, God of Israel, unto the place I have prepared for it. So sanctify yourselves first. Sanctify yourselves, because ye did not at first, and Jehovah our God made a breach upon us. For that we sought after, not after due order. Not after due order. Not after due order. Levites sanctify themselves to bring up the ark of Jehovah their God. How much not order are we doing right now? A ton. And the children and the Levites bear the ark of God upon their shoulders and the staves thereon. And Moses commanded them according to the word of Jehovah. David spake to the chief of the Levites to appoint their brethren to be singers with the instruments and the music and the psalteries and the harps and the cymbals and sounding, lifting up thy voice with joy, so that the Levites appointed Herman, the son of Joel, and the brethren Asaph, and the son of Betri, and the sons of Merari, and the brethren Ethan, the son of Cushiah, and with them their brethren every second degree, and Zechariah, and Ben, and Jaziel, and Sheremoth, and Jehiel, and Uniah, and Eldab, and Benaiah, and Manasseh, and Mathisa, and Ephaliah, and Mechaniah, and Obed-Edom, and Jeriel, and the porters. So the singers, Herman, Asaph, Ethan, were appointed with the sounds of cymbals of brass, and Zechariah, and Aziel, and Sheremoth, and Jalil, and Uni, and Eldab, and Messiah, and Benaiah, with their psalteries, and Amoth, and Mathiah, and Athaliah, and Mechaniah, and the Obed-Edom, and Jaliel, and Isaiah, and the harps of the Shimeon to excel. And Shaniah, the chief of the Levites, was for a song. He instructed about the song because he was skillful. And Bechariah and Eknah were the doorkeepers for the ark. And Shabaniah, and Jehoshaphat, and Nathaniel, and Amasai, and Zechariah, and Benaiah, and Eleazar were priests, and did blow the trumpets before the ark of God. And Obed-Edom and Janiah were the doorkeepers for the ark. So David and the elders of Israel and the captains over 1,000 went to bring up the ark of the covenant of Jehovah out of the house of Obed-Edom with joy. And it came to pass when God helped the Levites that bear the ark of the covenant of Jehovah, that they offered 7 bullocks and 7 rams. And David was clothed with a robe of fine linen. And all the Levites that bear the ark, and the singers, and Shaniah, the master of the songs, and the singers, and David had also an ephod of linen. And also Israel brought up the ark of the covenant with Jehovah with shouting, and with the sound of the cornet, and the trumpets, and the cymbals, a noise of psalteries and the harps, and that came as Jehovah, the ark of the covenant of Jehovah, came to the city of David, that Michal, the daughter of Saul, looking out of a window, saw David dancing and playing, and she despised him in her heart. So that God brought the ark of God and set it in the midst of the tent of David and pitched for it. And they offered burnt sacrifices of peace offerings before God. And when David made an end of the burnt offerings and the peace offerings, he blessed the people in the name of Jehovah. He blessed the people in the name of Jehovah. In the name, folks. We just read that in Psalms 106. Jehovah is his name. And he dealt every one in Israel, and both man and woman, and every loaf of bread, and every good piece of flesh, and the flagon of wine. He appointed a certain Levite to minister before the ark of Jehovah, and to record, and to thank, and to praise Jehovah, God of Israel. Asaph, the chief, next to him, Zechariah, Jehiel, Shemarath, Jehiel, Matthiah, Elidab, Benaiah, Obed-Edom, Jael, and psalteries with harps. But Asaph made a sound with cymbals. Benaiah, also Jaziel, and the priests and the trumpets continually before the ark of the covenant of God. Before the ark of the covenant of God. Okay, that covenant is his holy covenant. His holy covenant. Yes, the Lord is one Lord. One God. Okay, Benaiah and the ark of the covenant of God. On that day, David delivered the first psalm to thank Jehovah, the hand of Asaph and his brethren, to give unto Jehovah and call upon his name. Call upon his name. Absolutely faithful love. Idolatry is an unforgivable sin. Praise Yah. And give thanks unto the Lord. Call upon his name. Make known his deeds among the people. Sing to him, sing the psalms unto him. Talk ye of his wonderful works. Glory ye in his holy name. Let the heart of them rejoice that seek Jehovah. Seek Jehovah and his strength and his face and continually. Remember his marvelous works that he hath done, the wonders and the judgments of his mouth. The wonders and the judgments of his mouth. That was written on 2 tablets of stone and placed in the ark of the covenant. O ye seed of Israel, his servants, ye children of Jacob, his chosen ones. He is Jehovah our God, and his judgments are in all the earth. Be mindful always of his covenant. Be mindful always of his covenant. Be mindful always of his covenant. That's loving God with all your heart, mind, and soul. That's loving God with all your heart, mind, and soul. Now, these are the commandments and the statutes and the judgments which Jehovah our God hath commanded to teach you, that ye might do them in the land whither ye go to possess it, that thou mightest fear Jehovah thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes and his commandments, which I command thee, thou, thy son, and thy son's son, all the days of thy life, that your days may be prolonged, that you'll have everlasting life. Hear, O therefore, Israel. Hear, Shema, O Israel, and observe and do it, that it may be well with thee, that ye may increase mightily in Jehovah thy God of thy fathers, that promised in the land that floweth with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel, Shema, O Israel. Jehovah our God is one God. And thou shalt love Jehovah thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy might. And these words I command you this day, which ye shall be in thy heart. Thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thy house, and when thou walkest away, and when thou liest down, when thou risest up. And you shall bind them as a sign upon thy hand, and they shall be frontlets between thy eyes. Seek Jehovah and his strength, and seek his face continually. Remember his marvelous works that he hath done, and the wonders and his judgments of his mouth. O ye seed of Israel, his servant, and ye children of Jacob, his chosen ones. He is Jehovah our God. His judgments are in all the earth. Be mindful of the ways of his covenant, the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations. even the covenant which is made with Abraham and his oath unto Isaac. Huge blunder has been taught for 2,000 years, 15, at least 1,900 years. People do not know that the Holy Covenant is the promise he made with Abraham. It's a renewed covenant. He renewed the covenant at Horeb. Even the covenant which he made with Abraham and his oath unto Isaac, and he hath confirmed the same with Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant, saying unto thee, I will give ye the land of Canaan, the lot of your inheritance. When you were but a few, and you were strangers in it, and when you went from the nation to nation, from one kingdom to another people, he suffered to do no man wrong. He reproved the kings for their sake, saying, touch not my anointed, and do my prophets no harm. Sing unto Jehovah all the earth, and all the day to day his salvation, his Yeshua. Declare his glory among the heathen and his marvelous works among all nations. For great is Jehovah, and greatly to be praised. He is also feared above all gods, for all gods of the people are idols. There you go, faithful love. There you go. All the people are idols. But Jehovah made the heavens. Glory and honor are in his presence, and his strength and gladness are in his place. Give unto Jehovah, ye kindreds of the people, and give unto the Lord God and strength. Give unto the Lord the glory due his name. The glory due his name. Bring an offering and come before him. Worship in Jehovah in the beauty of holiness. He desires mercy, not sacrifice. Our offering that we're bringing him is this daily communication where we share his word. We got to learn his word first, and we share it. That's the talents, folks. You know the parable of the 5 talents? You got to share what you learn. It's not about money. It's about his word and sharing his word. Fear before him all the earth, and all the world shall be stable, and it not be moved. Let the heavens be glad, and let the earth rejoice. Let the man say among the nations, the Jehovah reigneth. Let the sea roar in the fullness thereof. Let the fields rejoice, all that is therein. When the trees of the wood sing out in the presence of Jehovah, because he commanded to judge the earth. Give thanks unto Jehovah, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever. His mercy endureth forever. What is the subject here? The subject is his commandments, his 10 commandments. 40 days after he gave the commandments, the people messed up. They made a golden calf. He put on them the schoolmaster, a whole bunch more rules where they had to sacrifice the bull of blood and bull of goats. Stone each other. We don't have to stone each other anymore now. We just rebuke that sin. That is loving thy neighbor as thyself. Is rebuking their sins so their sins do not fall upon them. His mercy endureth forever. His mercy is those 10 commandments, folks. And ye say, save, O God, our salvation. Save. And say ye, save us, O God, of our Yeshua. O God of our salvation, and gather us together and deliver us from the heathen, that we may give thanks to thy holy name, and glory and praise. The Bible I read out of changed his name like 6,349 times or something like that. They left it in there like 7 times, or Jehovah or Yah is in there to give us just a crumb so that we can remember his name. Woe to the scribes. Woe to the scribes. So he left, therefore, before the ark of the covenant of Jehovah, Asaph and his brethren to minister before the ark continually, as every day's work required, and Obed-Edom with their brethren, 68. And guess what? It was on the shoulders of the sons of Aaron that they had. It was on their shoulders that they had to bear that because they let that golden calf be made. Here's what I'm going to give you the Bible in a nutshell. Okay? Here's the gospel. He wants you to obey the 10 commandments. You got to teach others to do the 10 commandments. It's called well-doing or doing well. Doing well or well-doing. In the KJV, it's throughout the Bible. It's all over. Doing well. You'll do well. And it's all about being your brother's keeper. Helping each other out to stay on the narrow path. The Zadok priest and his brethren, the priest before the tabernacle of Jehovah in the high place that was at Gibeon, to offer burnt offerings unto Jehovah and on the altar of burnt offerings continually, morning and evening, and to do according to all that is written in the law of the Lord, which he commanded Israel. So, after they did the burnt calf, Moses went down there, did his fast talking. He interceded for the people. He had to go back up there another 40 days where he wrote continuously the book of the law. That's Exodus 34 and 35. He gave them a new covenant, and he comes down with, God rewrote him the 2 tablets, but Moses, for 40 days, 40 nights without food or water, wrote the book of the law. And with them, Herman and Jethan and the rest were chosen and expressed by name to give thanks unto Jehovah, because his mercy endureth forever. And with them, Jethan and the trumpets and the cymbals, for all that should make a sound, and the musical instruments of God. And the sons of Jethro were porters, and all the people departed, every man to his house. And David returned to bless his house. That is Chronicles 13 through 16, which is a great little section which tells the story of the people. God never wanted to put the book of the law on the people. Okay? The book of the law gets written on plaster. The book of the law gets written on plaster, on stone, at Mount Gerizim. Okay? And Mount Gerizim is where they give the curses. And then Mount Ebal is where they talk about the blessings, the curses and the blessings. Paul talks about that in 1 Chronicles 3. And people confuse the book of the law with the Holy Covenant and the 10 Commandments. Huge blunder, folks, not knowing the difference. You will not understand the Bible unless you understand the difference between the Holy Covenant, those 10 Commandments, and the laws written after transgression. Paul explains that in Galatians 3. That's 3 verse 19 right there. And then Galatians 4, he talks about it being one is Sarah and the other is Hagar. Don't touch the mountain of Sinai. Horeb and Sinai are different, folks. They're different. It's about 6 miles apart, 6.5 miles apart. The sites have been found. The sites have been found. I love you guys. Man, that was awesome. I love you.